Hi, boys and girls. I'm so happy you're here today for another Kathy's Kids Story Time. I know that many of you are thinking of how to give gifts to your family and friends for Christmas. That's great. There are also a lot of people who may not have family and friends to think of them, or who may not receive gifts for Christmas. Have you listened to our story from November called The Giving Christmas? If not, I want to encourage you to do it today. With that story, I have included the Christmas Kindness Challenge, encouraging you to show kindness to others, not just at Christmas time, but all through the year. If you go to our website, www.kathyskidsstorytime.org, you will find some great ideas of how you can make a difference to someone else with simple acts of kindness. Don't forget that I'd like to be able to share some of your stories with others on our podcast. So take the time to write out your story and take a picture or two to send to me. You may send them to my email address at kathy@kathyskidsstorytime.org, or you may send them to Kathy's Kids Storytime, P.O. Box 44270, Charlotte, North Carolina, 28215-0043. Our Christmas story today is by Kathy's Kids Storytime team member Courtney Herod. So sit back and enjoy a story that he will share about his own family. Thanks, Courtney.
We've all heard the quote of Jesus in Acts 20 telling his disciples, "It is more blessed to give than to receive." This is a lesson that we try to emulate, and parents try to teach their children, sometimes successfully. In December of 1947, my grandfather wanted to give my grandmother a Christmas more like what she was used to when she lived in New York City. He knew that she was used to the lights and the glitter of the Christmas decorations in the city, but what could he do on a rural tobacco farm in North Carolina? As newlyweds, they didn't have a lot of money for decorations. One day, while he was working in the fields, an idea came to him. He went into the woods and gathered up pine cones and gumballs and took them to the back porch where he set up shop. He took tiny nails and inserted them at the end of the pine cone to create hooks to hang on the tree. Fortunately, the gumballs already had a curly stem, and that made a perfect hook. But something was missing. Looking around, he saw some aluminum paint and a flint gun. A flint gun is used to spray pesticides on plants. He filled the flint gun with the paint, strung a string across the porch where he could hang the pine cones and gumballs as he sprayed them with the paint to turn them into shiny ornaments. These handmade ornaments adorned my grandparents' Christmas tree all through my mother's childhood and into adulthood. When I was 11 years old, I had saved my money and bought my first artificial Christmas tree. I spent all my money on this tree except for what I was using to buy my family presents. That didn't leave anything left over for ornaments. My grandmother brought these pine cones and gumballs and one strand of lights over to our house and gave them to me so that I would have ornaments on my tree. They have been on my tree every year since then. Each year, one of those pine cones gets more fragile than they were the year before. This year, as I placed them on my tree, I was reminded of their beginning 73 years ago. Such a simple, inexpensive gift was gifted twice from a loving heart. Out of all the ornaments that adorn my tree, these are the most special, and if you ask my grandmother, she will say the same. I am reminded of a Christmas song by Stephen Curtis Chapman called "Christmas is All in the Heart." In this song, he tries to help his listeners understand that Christmas is not about the expensive gifts. He says, "It is not in the snow that may or may not fall, and it's not in the gifts around the tree. It's in the love heaven gave the night our Savior came, and that same love still can be found wherever you are, 'cause Christmas is all in the heart." This Christmas, let's not forget that the most special gift that you can give someone is something from the heart. This podcast is a production of the Carolina Conference of the Seventh-day Adventist Church.